Hey everybody, this is Josh of Darren and Josh Make a Movie, and just a little trigger warning, this episode gets a little bit dark and slightly depressing, but as we have decided to do on the show, we are trying to give you an unfiltered and realistic look into filmmaking. Just as a film sometimes goes over budget and you don't quite make your day, sometimes in a relationship you don't make your day. And that is what this episode is all about. Before we get going, I would just like to ask everyone to please press pause and subscribe to the YouTube channel that we have. And if you don't mind spending 2 minutes to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Audible. The algorithm is very, very important, and it would really mean a lot to us if you would try to leave a comment or a review. It will really help us in the future. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and I'm sorry about how dark it gets sometimes, but we are here to provide a very realistic view of what it's like to be a filmmaker in Los Angeles. So thank you so much, and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin. Darren and Josh Make a Movie.
Hey everyone, it is Darren and Josh Make a Movie, and we're back. And if I look a little nervous, it's only because I'm a little nervous. Josh, are you nervous about this one?
I'm a little nervous, you know. It's
we are
these are the guests that will be the craziest, the meanest.
I think about 3 weeks ago I talked about wanting to punch a studio executive in his face. Because I get angry and I get very dramatic, and I don't think I've ever been more fearful of the guest that we have in studio today. And we are in studio today. We're back with, if you guys remember 3 weeks ago, a little Easter egg, is James Michael Bobby, who was so gracious to host us that his amazing restaurant, Black Market Liquor Bar, is now hosting us in his space, Chandler Studios.
Yes, and we'll take a little tour of it in a bit. But first, let's get to our guests.
I'm just, you're trying to.
All right, you need to sit up straight.
No, and we can hear it right now why I'm terrified. So Josh, without asking me, because I heard about this special guest as my wife walked into my office, and I live in fear of my wife. And she walked in my office, and I jumped, and I really do. I jump. I get really antsy. And she goes, "So I guess I'm going to be on a podcast tomorrow." And I was like, "What?" And then she goes, Josh just texted me. And then I got a text from Josh that says, "Don't be mad, but I asked Laura and my wife
And Leila,
spell that out phonetically for me."
it's Leila.
It's not Leila, it's Leila.
It's not Leila.
So we are sitting here with both of our wives. I'm terrified. I'm really terrified. How you guys doing?
You're good. I'm glad to make you nervous still after all these years. It's good.
I don't know if Leila has the ability to make any grown man as nervous as my wife makes me.
You just said that you live in fear of me, and I feel like not enough. Like I was like, put of more fear, geez.
So I think it's important. I think it's important to set.
You haven't even made eye contact.
No, I'm not going to. So we're really quick. We'll introduce them first. I'll introduce my wife, and you can introduce yours.
Okay.
This is Laura. Laura comes from a royalty of Hollywood. Her grandfather was I don't even know if you know this, but her grandfather was a very famous character actor named Harold J. Stone. But do you know where most people would know him from? We'll put him on screen right now. In Spartacus, he is Kirk Douglas's best friend in it. He's the first one that stands up and says, "I am Spartacus."
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know if it's first or second. He plays David in Spartacus. He's the first, but then a ton of other stuff too.
That's amazing.
His IMDb page is like
That's incredible.
You know, the one that I knew him from before Spartacus was he's in a famous Alfred Hitchcock Presents. One of my favorite ones was, it's the one where a woman, a police detective shows up to question a woman about her missing husband, and she cooks the detective a lamb chop. And you realize,
I remember that.
She killed him with the lamb chop, and
then cooked it.
Yeah,
It was icy. Oh yeah.
that was her grandfather.
yeah.
That is so freaking cool.
My mom told me to stay away from anyone in Hollywood. Well done. I'm so well done.
Wait a minute.
Sitting next to her.
So Leila Rose Godoff was her
Oh my
birth
God.
name.
That scene
Was her
20th
birth
century.
name. Was her birth name. Her stage name is Leila Charles Lee, which is what she goes by because she has disavowed the last name Stolberg. But Leila and I met out here. She had just gotten off the bus to come to Los Angeles. And I was lucky enough to scoop her up right away before.
Waiting at the bus station.
I was. Free taxis. That's why I held up a sign. No, but Leila is an actress, a producer, and a podcaster of her own. She does a political podcast called The Punch Up Pod. But Leila has been in, I think, 4 or 5 of my films as an actress. She's produced 2 or 3 of my films. And it's really nice to have her here.
But before you say it, I could feel, remember in like Superman, he's got those heat things with his eyes? I could feel it with Laura. Laura has also been in a few of my movies, and it was notably the rape victim in Saw 3.
Really?
No, it was Saw 4.
Saw 4? Really?
I played dead. That's the only thing I'm good at. I am not good in front of the camera.
And
That's a skill there.
Laura has also produced numerous of my films. She produced 11-11-11.
His finest.
His finest film. Exactly.
What are you doing?
Oh, sorry.
Left you
Sorry.
hanging.
As well as The Devil's Carnivals, and the Emily Odding video, Fight Like a Girl, which, if those have not seen it, I've done a lot of music videos. It's one of my favorites. So Laura is kind of like your wife has been around on all sides, from acting to.
I know, Leila. It's Leila.
I'm scared to say your name because it's only because you sent.
Just think about the pronunciation. Lie. L-I.
when I walked in.
You
Lie.
did.
I said
You
Leila.
did. That was
Okay.
good.
All right. Good.
So Leila is.
He's only known me for 5 or 6 years now.
But I didn't recognize you when I went to Black Market Liquor Bar. So Laura, I don't even know if you know this, but when I went to see Sabrina off, they had taken over a bench, and I sit down on the bench, and I didn't realize it, but I'm sitting next to Leila, and she looks at me, and I look at her, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna be that uncomfortable thing where I have to know who someone is. And she goes, Darren. I was like, you.
He's been at our house 2 days prior.
It's not the thing. It's like he pretends that he has this syndrome where he can't recognize people's faces, and it's not true. He's just an asshole.
I'm sure you recognize people you think are important enough to recognize.
No, I don't.
Oh, for shots fired.
I took care of that.
Just, I think I want to address right off the bat is this kind of is taking a little bit of a 90-degree turn from the podcast that we've been up to so far. But I think it's a very important, and Josh, kudos for you for thinking of this, because part of being a filmmaker is, I would say 80% of it is the support and the family life that goes along with being a filmmaker, because nothing happens alone. And Laura will remind me frequently that she bears the same amount of stress and heartache that I do.
She does.
She doesn't get the credit, though.
Exactly.
So when a movie premiere comes out, I get the credit, and Laura is left sitting in the theater crying.
We've had that exact same conversation in our house, so it's not new. But we thought it would be really nice to bring our wives on so that they could fill you guys into
private horrors that we all.
Yeah, some of the private horrors of both living with filmmakers, living with 2 kind of
Selfish
Characters.
selfish characters. All right, good. We're on.
You're never struggling for a word. We've got plenty.
Okay, good.
And I think why it's important and how it ties into the podcast today is that we are about to start a journey, and that is we're going to go down the road and make another movie. And
What do we need there?
For it.
So we need their support, and whatever we're gonna do, they kind of have to back it, because if they don't back it, we're not making the movie. So with that, we just wanted to introduce you to our lives. And a lot of people ask me, where do I come up with some of the heinous, horrible, terrible things in my movies? And it's very easy. She's right. Yeah, I'm gonna die.
I feel like this should be called like the resentment hour.
So let's just start and just I'll ask you, Laura, first. Talk us through some of
Laura.
Leila, you need to stop it. Okay.
To talk us through some of the difficulties of Darren going off and shooting for 4 months at a time, and then editing in another city for another 3 months, and and having 2 kids and dealing with all of that stress.
Can I rephrase your question? Why don't you just ask the question of what is it like being married to me? Because I think that 90% of the time I'm unemployed. So you're asking her for the 10%.
Okay, let me talk about you said the difficulty of him being gone. The difficulty is when he's home. That is, like when we've been together for almost 20 years. And when we were first together, he was leaving for movies, TV shows all the time.
Right.
And so like he and I both are these like alphas and we butt heads, but we love each other furiously. And we had that like break. Like we had that like time and space to sort of like take a breath, fall in love again, come back together, keep doing it.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, he was home for 2 years. After that, he was been home for 3 years. And it's hard now without that sort of break. Also inserting 2 kids, 2 dogs, and 2 bearded dragons, like
2 fish.
Well, the ones that are alive. It's just a lot. He's got a big energy, and that big energy needs to be making art. And instead, it is sort of taking over like the emotional space in the house.
Yeah.
What's also interesting, the way you just frame that, is that it seems like the beginning of your relationship, he was gone a lot. So that's how you guys fell into your rhythm. And then when that rhythm gets thrown off, you realize what the problem is. Maybe you didn't even realize it before that.
Also, I used to travel with him a lot and like that was fun.
Yeah.
Like that's how I learned how to film behind the scenes, because I did film behind the scenes for a few of the movies.
Yeah.
That's how I learned how to produce. It's because we'd go to a foreign country. I didn't have a visa, so I couldn't work.
Yeah.
And so I was lonely and I would go to set every single day. And then people would start like, Darren's kind of intimidating on set.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, he is.
So people would have questions for him. And even though Darren says like, that's not how this works, but people would have questions for him. And like, I'm a little more easygoing when it comes to being outside. In the home, totally different.
Yeah.
But they would come up to me to get the answers.
Oh no. And then putting you in the situation where now you've got to.
Yeah, but I was like, oh my God, I have a purpose. I have an identity. Like,
oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, that's resentment.
No. It's not this.
For no,
that's
me.
Not what caused. Oh, okay. But that would be like our pillow talk. Like I'd be like, okay, so like, by the way, like the costume designer is wondering if like, like we're laying in bed. And I'd get the answer and I'd go back to the costume designer and I'd let them know. And like they got to continue on their job instead of just like waiting like for the right moment to like approach him.
Yeah.
So yes. So maybe you resented that. That was me getting the job done. I felt a purpose and an identity. And that's something that I've like always struggled with.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, and then it became more natural. Yeah. I loved working with you. That was my favorite part of our relationship.
Laura,
which he glosses over immediately.
No, I'm going to say Laura came with us. She was there for Saw 3, 4, Repo, 11/11, Mother's Day. But she was there for most of them. But on the early films, she was on set every day. And there's something very exciting upcoming with Repo that I really can't talk about in great detail, but I think you'll see kind of the impact Laura had with Repo, because she was there for every single moment of that thing being made. Before we get into more of that,
not just like jerking off in a corner, I was filming behind the scenes.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. You will come to find out exactly what that was. And I just did a podcast recently with Chris Ramsey, and the whole thing was about this movie 11/11, where Laura was back behind the scenes shooting all the insane shit that's used in that podcast. So Laura had a huge deal with that, but it's more. I'm gonna continue on that in a second. But one of the things that Laura and I struggle with, and I want to get your take if you and Josh struggle with this, is
yes,
I've had extreme highs and I've had extreme lows.
Yeah,
I would consider myself now in the bottom of a drain. There was a book called Chuck Palahniuk wrote. called Guts, about a dude who gets his butthole stuck in a drain of a pool.
Swimming pool, yeah.
That's what I feel like my career is right now. And so, but Laura, when she met me, it was the top of the top. No, I know, but just. No, I'm joking. That's so dope. No, but I think that it's for me, it's hard because our introduction was a whirlwind of success and movie premieres and going to Academy Award parties. And now Laura last night had to text me, can I have $5 to pay our daughter's, it's morning,
I
breakfast.
wanted to get her.
And I was like, I don't know how to get that right now because I'm waiting for this wire to come in. And so there's such extremes in trying to balance the success with the failure. How has your relationship with Josh been? Because he's had successes and I'm sure he's had misses as well. And you're there through all of them. How do you deal with that?
It sucks. We met, so luckily for us, we met at the bottom. Or what we thought was, no.
I was a bartender. Like,
Oh, you were a PA.
I was a PA. I was a PA on Parker Lewis Campbell.
What a moron to marry a PA. No, I'm kidding. No, but we were both, struggling. I came out here to act. He came out here to write and direct. And I mean, those first few years, I remember several nights every week, you and I would lie in bed crying. Like, I thought, I had all these introductions when I came out here and I was embarrassed how I was going to deal with the people I was going to be rooming with who I'd never met, but through friends, that my success was going to be so quick. And I'd like, oh my God, it's like embarrassing that I've been set up for all this success. And how will I explain it to people?
She would say that Winona Ryder was taking her entire career.
That was my,
and if that, if only it wasn't for Winona Ryder.
I didn't think there were going to be any like short, dark, Jewy New Yorkers out here. So I thought, like, I'm going to corner the market. Yeah. And so the beginning, the first 8 years of our relationship was, it was wonderful, but we were, I was waiting tables. He was in graduate school. We were struggling with money. And then and we did plays together, which was amazing. Like, and it was after that you wrote a play for me, but we did a lot together. We loved working together. And then he had his first big success, which was selling a spec. Was that the one with Monica Johnson, right? And I remember telling, it was like in the trades, and my parents were like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Wow. And all of a sudden we were like rich. But meanwhile, the 8 years previous, we were always in debt, right? So like that one lump sum, which by the way, is never what you actually make. You make like half of it because it was with the writing partner. You give, however much away to your representatives. But then that became, and so I hate it. I hate the roller coaster. I am much older than you, and we are in the same place today where I'm like filling out, oh my God, how do we get a loan? We are in $200,000 of credit card debt. Like,
oh my God,
oh no,
same girl.
It's so stressful. It's so stressful. I hate it. But like, I don't want us to have a regular person job. I'd hate that too. So like, you don't get all pieces of the pie.
Are you close with her family?
Yeah.
Yeah, extremely. Really.
Are they Hollywood based?
No.
Josh is also like super nice and like wants to talk to people. He's like
racist, he's sexist.
Shut up. He ends every text message with "I love you."
I know. I am so to kind of address some of what Laura's talking about, because we're giving you a real. We always said that we're going to pull open the kimono and let you see what.
That's awful.
What we are, and I think that I am socially awkward. I don't like people. I can put on an act, and if I am doing like a premiere or I'm, going on a road show, I can pretend to be social and outgoing, but I get very uncomfortable. I've been training for COVID my entire life.
Me too.
So when COVID hit, like it was completely okay with me. Laura is the opposite. Laura is the life of the party. She walks into a room and she is the belle of the ball. I mean, the spotlight hits her. I dodge, duck, and weave a spotlight. I don't want to talk to anyone. And I think that has caused a lot of friction, but at least in our early stages of our relationship, we were at those parties. I remember very early on, maybe in our first date, Bob Weinstein calls me. Was it our first date or first night you slept over?
That would have been our second date.
It was after our first date, and I only slept over because I was living in Manhattan Beach at the time.
But Bob Weinstein knew that I was having a date that night, and he calls. We were at Fred 62's, and the next day, Laura's sitting there, and we're at breakfast, and the phone rings, and it says Bob Weinstein. She looks at the phone, and I think I put him on speaker, and he goes, "Bousman, did you get lucky?" And I was like, oh my God. But there was something cool because our
And the answer is no, because Darren had a 3-date rule.
He did?
I did not read.
I kind of did. Oh,
Yeah, that was our first fight.
Yeah.
Our first date, our second date was our first fight because I was like, yes, let's just have sex. What's wrong with you? He's like, we don't know each other well enough. I don't want you to get too attached. I was like, don't
Laura
lie
read
to
me
yourself.
on her third date called Ode to a Blowjob.
It was Valentine's Day.
I have a picture of it. I'm going to put it up on screen right now for Ode to a Blowjob. But I think that in those early years, it was, I don't even know if you remember that, but we were at a Comic-Con, maybe it was on Saw 3. And I remember I was with Jason Statham. And he was like, when are we going to make a movie together? And it was cool because we were around the celebrities. That same year, we went to the Academy Awards party. And I'm talking to George Lucas. I pushed Laura aside.
Literally, he knows and like the biggest Star Wars fan, and he like knocked me over to get to George.
But now I couldn't get a fourth tier Telemundo fill-in bat person to talk to us. And I think that, you know, that we're a lot more exposed in that way. Because
Okay, can I talk for a second?
Please.
Yeah,
Sorry.
please.
You're making it sound like I am or was what's the thing when you want the money? Gold digger.
Yeah.
I was not a gold digger. I was not a fame whore. I was from Los Angeles. Like I already had like famous friends. Like that's not like what excited me. What excited me was that you were so fucking interesting and your stories were so fucking interesting and your dreams and what you were going to do and you were going to create this legacy. And now I'm just fucking tired. Like I've heard the story.
I said in one of the podcasts that now when I talk, Laura puts AirPods in. When I start talking, you see her put the AirPod. That's what if you notice, she asked for AirPods like 4 times. She does not. I think that when Laura and I started dating that there was an air of mystery or cool that I would notice she would look at me at like, oh, he's cool. That's gone. Do you still have the ability to look at Josh and hear his ideas and be like, dude, that's cool?
Yes.
Like you do.
Yes, but I don't always think he's cool. Like when he starts talking and pauses and can't get to his, like we're very different personalities. I am OCD, I have lists, I'm like, I want it all done. And he is more patient. And so sometimes, and because we're in a frustrated spot, like everything does feel better when you're not freaking out about money all the time or where the next job is coming from. Or I thought I was going to be, you know, like the US version of Daniel Day-Lewis. Like that was my goal. And clearly I'm not. So like, there's of course lots of frustration and then also the whole fucking world. Like there's a lot of just feeling sad, just heavy. So there are times that I realize I have shifted the whole energy of a family dinner. And like the other day, we were going to go to the beach. Josh hates going to the beach. And
It's the worst.
And I know it. And he had bagged out of it twice before and been like, I'm sorry, you can just go with the kids. And I was pissed. And so the day of the beach, he was going to have to do something and get us back, whatever. It didn't matter. But then the actual day, you changed the whole energy. Like you were like, it's okay. Hey, what can I do? Like it was very, and I realized like, wow, we sometimes forget to be nice to each other. And so that we do, you know, we've been together now for 33 years. It's a long time. And there've been ups and downs and, you know, but when we're talking about creating and art and his scripts or my acting or my podcast or your podcast or whatever, like things that we're passionate about, that still is really exciting for me. That's my favorite.
That's nice of you to say. When you were talking about how David Tisch gives you the hardest notes in the entire world, that's Leila for us. Like I give her a script and I walk away in tears every single time. As a matter of fact, when we first started dating, I was like, hey, let's just write together. Let's write a script together.
Spec script.
A spec script. Yeah, we're going to do a Mad About You spec script. It was my first spec script. So we're like, okay, let's both try to come up with a cold open because they always had that like 45-second cold open. She goes into one room, I go into the other, and we're in separate rooms for like 3 hours, come back together, and I've got my entire cold open. It's like 6 pages. It's got a punchline on the end, everything.
Like I still remember it was the shower thing. Like she flushes the toilet, he's in the shower. I still remember it was a great cold open.
Thank you for saying that.
Very funny.
Her paper just said 3 women.
Wait, that's a lie. It said 6 women. And then I crossed it out and it said 2 women.
I like the way Laura was like, oh, see,
Yeah.
But yes, no. But what you guys are talking about is I mean, the issues with money, like, you know, I came out wanting to be a director. Like, that's what I want to do more than writing. I feel like writing always makes me feel like I'm doing homework. It does not feel fun to me. It feels like I'm doing a term paper in college every single time I sit down to write. I love being on set. I love working with actors. Those are the things that really, really make me happy. So Leila was incredibly supportive when I was like, all right, I want to direct my 2nd movie in a row instead of going out and trying to sell another movie, because I make enough money to live writing usually. This last couple of years has been tough. But because I did 2 movies in a row, we couldn't pay our mortgage in our house.
But wait, first,
and we had to sell our house.
just so we can set it up, when you said, I don't want to get a TV job, on staff, I would like to direct another movie. I said, honey, you do what you need to do, because like we'll live in an apartment on Whitsett if that's what has to happen. We'll sell our house, whatever. I want you to go direct a movie. But what he's leaving out is, I thought I was going to get one of the parts in that movie for My Great Sacrifice, and I was apparently too young for one and not bikini body ready for the other part, and so I was not any part of that movie, and then we had to sell our house.
So I think
that was like the double finish.
I get it.
So that, like, those are the things where like, and I understand, like, he wouldn't have been able to make the movie. Actually, let's face it, like, nobody knows my name. They needed, like, even though I can't remember the names of the people and they're not so big that like, but like, that's a reality, which I really understand, but it still hurts my feelings. Well, and then there was that bad, like, then we did have to sell our house, right? So like, then it's compounded by like all the fallout.
To me is the embodiment of the struggles that I have as a director or a filmmaker or an artist, because I think everyone here is an artist. The thing that before I met Laura and I was just starting out, I had no responsibility, and I could live on ramen noodles. I can live on a piece of bread and I would be completely fine. But now we have 2 kids and 2 bearded dragons and 2 dogs. And I did kill 4 fish in one full swoop the other day when I was changing the water, and they all died. But what I still have not figured out, and Laura and I have seen multiple therapists about this, and I don't know if we're ever going to have the answer, is for me as a filmmaker, I can't regulate. This is when I write. This is when I parent. It used to be as an artist, it's whenever I was inspired. And that could be sitting in front of a blank screen for 12 hours, and on that 13th hour it hit, and then I would go crazy. But you can't do that. And I think that Laura's done great in trying to give me the freedom to say, I'm going to take the kids today. You have this 6-hour block, but that 6 hours might not do shit for me. It might be at 5 hours and 59 minutes right before she walks in, it hits. I'm like, boom, I'm there. And then she's like, kids are yours. And then, and so the problem is, I think that as more responsibility is come in, I haven't figured out how to navigate getting back to that place. Like, I've had a book. You read the first 150 pages of it. I can't finish it because I can't get in the zone.
But I've told you to go away.
But in the same time,
go somewhere.
But this is the problem, is that we're not even, I said this to my agents today, I'm not treading water. I'm at the bottom of an ocean. And if I stop moving, not only do I drown, it used to be me drowning, it's the entire family drowns. So I've been able to stay afloat right now by this thing called Attic Acquisitions that I do, which is I am, selling weird occult goods or movie props or things like that. If I stop, I drown. And I think that is the worst part about being a filmmaker in my almost approaching 50 now, is that I don't have the ability to just be desperate like I was when I wrote Saw 2. I could be desperate. I could live in a studio apartment with nothing and pull myself out. Now, I have a wife and kids and bearded dragons that need food. And it's hard. And so there is a resentment that I think is going to come no matter what. Laura could be a god, and she is a saint. But there is a resentment because it's very easy. And this is the thing that I think separates us from any other job, is bankers architects. It's hard to judge what is success as a filmmaker. Is it how many screens your movie gets released on? Is it actually creating that piece of art? Is it the paycheck? Well, now success has changed for me. Success is the paycheck. It never was a paycheck before. It was, do I have 3,000 screens? Do I have accolades? Now success is only one thing. It's a paycheck. So I've taken movies that are fucking terrible. That is my success now. Things that I would never in a million years do before. And so it's hard to try to find my way back to getting back to what Saw 2 was. Laura said to us the other day, she said, it looks like you're back to desperate. And that's the thing, because my script, The Desperate, I always talk about, I was so desperate, I forced myself to write that, to pull myself out. I can't. I've tried. I can't do it. And has it gotten dark in your relationship? And it sounds like it has. I mean, selling your house, where it just felt hopeless?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that a lot. We're super lucky as opposed to the rest of the country and the world. Both of our parents own homes and have helped us out at different times. We'd be homeless. And the truth is, as bad as it gets, we know it would suck, but we'd either move in with my mom or his mom. We have an option. But we're getting close there. We're truly, it's bad. But also, so I'm an actress. And when I was pregnant with our first child, I gained 65 pounds. It's also when I wrote and produced with a friend my first movie. It's also the only movie you've won 2 awards for, but he never mentions it. Life Coach, the movie. But we went to festivals and all of that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, all of a sudden. And we were getting calls from big agents. And then I had the baby, which he almost missed the birth of the baby because he had a meeting with Howard Stern in New York. And
I missed the baby too.
You missed?
No, I saw.
Almost.
So he had a meeting and the baby wasn't due until the 25th. I was like, oh my God. But we had the last day of filming for Life Coach on the 10th or the 9th. It was a big crowd scene. And you left the very next morning and you're like, don't worry, even if your water breaks, it'll be so early and I'll be back, I'll make it back. Well, I mean, he did make it back, but I was a little concerned. And our baby came on the 16th, and the whole thing from the time my water broke until I was holding a baby was 3.5 hours. So he absolutely would have missed the baby.
Okay, well, I wish Sharon had missed the birth of our first baby because I was in labor for 36 hours. Yeah. And Darren had an infected root canal and said that he was in more pain than I was. And he made the whole thing about him.
Yes.
Literally, he was calling the nurse for his own pain.
Oh my God, that's great.
The nurse asked if I wanted an epidural.
Yes, I wish I could be hooked up to an epidural right now. My whole life, I would love it.
I think is...
Did you say 36 hours, really?
With Henry.
But the second one just shot out, by the way. To me, this is the hardest part about being married and trying to do what we do is, Laura and I fight all the time. I mean, you should have seen 15 minutes before Laura walked in. And they heard it when I walked in. It was screaming at the top of our lungs. It was yelling. It was threats of me saying, don't go to the fucking podcast. Her was like, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to go to your stupid fucking podcast. And me being like, no, I need you to go. And she's like, fuck you. And the door isn't slamming.
I'm here because I didn't want to be home with the kids. I like dinner.
But what's hard is that you have that. And then it's like, go create. You need to make $10,000 next week to pay for this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And I feel I'm so emotionally spent by the time that there is anything. But I have no other, I keep going back to what else I would do.
Okay.
What else could I do? And I don't know what else I could fucking do.
I need to talk for a second, please. Sorry. We all have so much resentment. Mine is more. It's because of the whole identity thing. It's because I met Darren when I was 24 and I had a job, but not a career. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so instead I, followed this dreamer all over the world, and it was exciting and it was fun. And then I was working with him and, that was starting to get good. And then I gave birth to Henry. And I was producing at the time, but not enough to make money. I'm not going to leave my newborn baby to go produce for like no money.
Right.
So I was a mom, and for the longest time, like that is what sustained me, like being a good mom.
Yeah.
And
It's a big yard. I mean, this is like, it's heavy. It really is.
but like things are changing. The kids are older now, and I found my career finally. And I wouldn't have found this career if we didn't have two neurodivergent children. But I'm in school getting my teaching credentials in special education.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you. So I have a year and a half left. And like the thing is, like, I know that I will be making money. Not a lot of money, is
This will be like a regular.
but yes, it'll be a paycheck, and I'm going to be substituting like before that. And it's like, I know like some money will be coming in, but like I literally have no control over anything. And so like I'm frustrated with Darren because I don't have $5 to buy a donut for Hadley after the doctor's office. And he's frustrated with me because like, why am I asking for money if we have like snacks, food and breakfast at home? And there's just so much resentment between the two of us.
It's a pissing contest that never ends. And this is the other thing about making film or making art, is our choices affect everyone in the house. And, I have to gamble. And it's like playing Russian roulette, because a lot of times, I'll pull the trigger and there's no bullet, but then there are times that I pull the trigger and there's a bullet and it blows off part of my head. But like, she has been always supportive about I remember when I had an opportunity to make a lot of money on Saw 4. And I turned Saw 4 down numerous times. And Laura was the first person, and I said, I think I want to make this rock opera instead. And the deal was that I wouldn't be paid to do Saw 4, but they would do the rock opera, which was that I'm at that point turning down millions of dollars that we would have had. We could have had the mansion, we could have had all that stuff. And Laura was like, do it. You need to do it.
Come live with us in the apartment. I'll last it.
But the problem is now that those risks are harder and harder to take, which means the lottery that I'm playing into is much less, not only winnable, but the payout is much less. Because those big risks, I don't have the ability to make them. I don't have the ability to take them, because that might mean, and I'll give you one.
But I just want to make it very, very clear. It's not because of being in a relationship. It's not because of having a family.
It's choosing. Yeah. Well, it's choosing security for my family over. And again, that's the question, is my definition of success has shifted throughout the years. It used to be success to me was 3,000 screens. That was success. Success was getting a positive review on Rotten Tomatoes. Now to me, success is being able to pay our mortgage and to be able to pay electricity and put our kids in school. That's success. And the thing which to me is always the thing I struggle with, and I was asking about your family, because my family, as well as Laura's family, while they're Laura, correct me. Go ahead, do it. I know you want.
Right.
Okay.
Tangentially.
Irregardless of the word I was trying to say.
Don't say it.
I said irregardless on a podcast, and it was really bad. So there is a thing that I have to answer to my mom. I have to see her mom and her father. And it is a hard thing for them to understand the industry, to understand the finances of the industry, and to understand, like, why are you such a fucking failure? You've made 3 movies. How do you have $0? Why are we lending our daughter money? Why is Darren, why are you lending me money? You said 3 movies come out. So we talked in the last podcast that I just did a project that will remain nameless. I spent 6 months outside of the house. And in that 6 months, Laura was going through hell. And it was a hell which I could not articulate or write into a script if I wanted to. But I kept saying to her, Laura, trust me, we're going to walk out and we're going to make a lot of money on this. It's more than I'm going to make on a film. Trust me. And then I get home and they elected not to pay. They claimed bankruptcy. Now, talk about resentment. How could she not be resentful? I just gambled and I lost. And for me, like, if I wouldn't have taken the gamble, that piece of art would have stopped existing.
And then you would have resented her. It
At the
is.
same time, our daughter was on a medication that was causing her to have psychotic breaks, and I was home alone with it. So
the anger. So now I have anger towards the money that is owed. She has anger for me for leaving alone while this thing is. And so what happens is there's this toxic stew. And it's hard to get out. I think that one of the things Josh and I are trying to do, and I'm speaking for you a little bit, but with this is one of the best experiences that I've had as a filmmaker was the Devil's Carnival film, which Laura produced, because we owned it. We controlled it and we made it. And it was one of the few films that I did not have oversight on. There was no big bad exec standing over us telling us what we could or couldn't do. We dictated what we wanted to do, how we released, and how we made money. That's kind of what Josh and I want to do with this, is that take back control and not put it with someone else. And you guys are going to be a huge part of that, because again, it is a gamble again.
It is a gamble. You know, it's two things. One is, I remember like right after I had Asher, our first, Josh's career sort of started taking off and he was gone, like gone. And I could barely move. Asher was a really difficult baby and I definitely resented him a lot. Not because it wasn't his fault. Like we needed that and I was so happy, but like, and he'd be like, we'll get more help. We'll get more help. We'll get help. We didn't have help. And I was like, no, because I want to be with my baby. Like I didn't make a baby to jet off someplace. And so then I, like a little bit that was like you, but also, you know, like, I mean, I get it. Like, but we needed that. And I wanted you to do that. And there's a part of me that always is like, yeah, I mean, at least if you're doing well, eventually I'll do well also. And I do want to be with my, like, I don't just want to leave him. And I remember my longtime acting coach, John Kirby, he's like, Leila, I think you got to get a little selfish. And that, you know, he said that to me. And it's hard to do when you have little babies. But then we made Conception and both of our kids. So Josh wrote it and directed it. I produced it. I was in it. And we had a great cast of, you know, some like big names for us who were our friends, but they were our friends. And our kids were in it, and I was producing, and Josh was directing, and I was in it. And I thought, oh, wow, you know, I'm always jealous of people like, you know, Spielberg and Tom Hanks, and they have this huge, but like they're working with their friends, and we're doing that. I mean, so I think sometimes it's shifting the expectation, and that is to me what's so exciting about what you guys want to do, is that it's kind of a family project, and that's the dream. Right? On some level, you get to control it, you get to work with people you like, and then the extra would be we could finance our lives.
Well, I just also want to say, so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for myself, maybe for you, I don't know. We don't think that you guys have like all of a sudden, is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
We don't think that all of a sudden you guys have just like failed. Like we don't think that you guys are just like not working. I mean, there's never a time where you guys aren't hustling.
I don't know anybody who, I mean, I know you, but I don't know anybody who works harder than Josh. And I'm sure you feel like he never stops working.
Yeah.
We don't take any vacation. We don't take a break. He works weekend, like he never stops.
So it's not like we're looking at you as these deadbeats. Like we see how hard you work. The nature of Hollywood and the film industry has changed, and it fucking sucks for everyone.
Yeah.
And I mean, Darren's representatives are telling him to find another career, you know, like everyone is saying like, what are you going to do to get out of this?
I mean, employment has gone down 75% since the strike, and because of AI and these disgusting moguls who own everything. So like, I think one good thing is the rest of the country is starting to understand what our lives have always been like, because everybody, I mean, it sucks. It all sucks, but like, yeah.
I'll tell you where, I mean, I think I've been more depressed in the last year than I have my entire life. And it's things that most people, and this is an Addison, I'm going to talk to you right now. Addison is behind the camera.
Welcome to Hollywood. Oh my God.
She's like, what the fuck is happening? I gotta get the hell out of here.
I think that I came in the golden era where every movie I did was released in a ton of screens and it had press and it was in billboards. It's hard to cut through the noise. And one thing we've talked about the last 3 episodes is being too intense, getting a bad reputation, a bad name, because now I give 0 fucks who I'd piss off. Literally could not give a fucking shit. When I look at my son who said, Dad, can I have $5 in Robux? And I'm like, no, I can't do that. Because last year, 3 separate jobs didn't pay me. Not 1, not 2, 3 separate jobs. And I want to get fucking angry. And I showed Laura, I sent Laura an email today that I got from my agency. And I'm not making this up. Laura can attest to this fucking email. Darren, calm down. You're acting erratic. Because the money that I was owed is not paid and it's 60 days late. And I'm like, fucking pay me. And they're like, you're acting erratic. And I'm like, you don't understand how angry my wife is, or her mom is, or my mom is, or our kids are. They don't understand. And
Well, it's disgusting. I mean, it's illegal.
it is.
Wage that, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
What happens is that they will just jump to the next person that will accept it. That whole idea of, okay, Darren, you don't want to play this game? Don't worry. There's 1,000 other people in line that will play that. And we used to make our career on a set of tools. Darren, here is your tools to build the house. Then some of the tools got taken away. Now you only have these tools. Now it's like 4 boards, a hammer, 2 nails. Oh, and Darren, we need you to do this pro bono, but you don't worry. When we make money, you're going to make money. Oh, but you have to sit behind X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It's either I say yes and figure out what to do, or I say no and it goes to someone else. And that is where I think the resentment builds. And I get it. I would be fucking pissed as well. It is a shitty situation. And I think the trick is to put some positive on it is there is hope. We have found it by things like Repo, like The Devil's Carnival. And I think that you guys were just talking on the movie that you did with your sons and she produced and acted in. And maybe that's what this is. Maybe this movie for us is that cleansing of our soul that I think I so desperately need right now, because I feel trapped. I do. I feel trapped, and there's no way to explain to Laura's mother or her uncle or my mother or my brother, they didn't pay me. Well, you're a bitch. Why didn't they pay you? Well, because they don't want to, and they're whatever. Well, Darren, take them to court. With what money? Like it is a hard thing. I think for anyone that's not in the industry to understand how intense it gets. And Josh, you've said to Adam Green, you said it's Mike Mendez, but aren't you worried about being labeled that the asshole, the being difficult?
no. Nobody thinks he's difficult or an asshole.
No.
Except for
Oh
me.
my God.
No,
Everybody thinks Darren is an asshole.
But that comes with listen, we could, I'm the one who does the fights. Nobody thinks you're an asshole.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm
Yeah.
total mensch.
Well, wait, I mean, yes, he is. I mean,
To everyone else outside of my house.
Right.
Because
But
I definitely get into
we do,
it.
but also I think you rely on me. I mean, obviously not with your managers and agents and stuff or people in the industry, but like I am the one who does the fighting for things that are unjust, and you are kind of like, oh, they're going to get along.
Yeah.
Which also causes, like,
We're the opposite.
Yeah,
Like
but-
I'm like, I can't make a phone call to like get our hotel reservations canceled because I'm like too scared. And Dad,
Yeah. Very quick, silly story. We were just to show that relationship. We're at the mall at Century City Mall, and we were there for like all day. We were shopping, spending a whole bunch of money. We'd see a movie, but so we get get back to the car. We get our ticket stamped. We get back to the car. Lila's driving. I'm in the passenger seat, and we pull up to the thing. We give him the ticket, and the guy says that'll be $22.
$12. But like, it was a lot because all we had done was spend money at their establishment, and they're gonna, like, if we had just jetted out of there after an hour, we would have given money to the establishment and the parking would have been free. Instead, for the pleasure of spending like $100, which was half of our full week's salary, then we also had to pay $12.
So Leila gets really ornery about it. It's like, what? How much do we have to? We were here, and she does everything that I just said and what she just said. And the guy's like, don't know what to tell you. You have to pay. And then from behind us, we hear, just pay the guy, you fucking cunt. From a
and it was Darren.
Oh my God, I wish. I thought you looked familiar.
No.
Well, that's what I did. I was like, what? And Josh goes, just pay the man. Just pay the man.
No, I would have
That's
first
our
paid and there never would have been like any issue. There would not have been the fighting, but then I would have fought.
Says, pay the man, you fucking cunt. And my husband says, just pay the man. Just pay the man. So that's the dynamic of our relationship because he didn't want me to get shot.
Did you get out of the car? Did you go fight him?
No, the guy was in a pickup truck with a gun rack in it.
But I was just like,
I mean, like, what?
I mean, this is the other problem is that, and I think, Laura, you have to backtrack a little bit. I'm not an asshole on set to people. I'm an asshole to the producer.
Okay. I just want to say, where do I look? I want to look.
There you go.
Look right there.
Or there's a close-up right there for you, Laura.
Darren is an actor's director. He is delightful to work with if you are anyone on set other than a producer.
And I think, well,
Yeah,
it is, because I think that my job is to protect the film, and to protect all of those that have worked on the film.
The crew. He's a crew. He is a crew.
It's
member
artists.
director.
And it's not that I don't feel producers are artists. They absolutely are. But my job is to have a backbone. You hire me to fight, and I think that I feel like I'm right so many of the times, and I'll always go back to Spiral. And you were there and you were part of it. I still to this day believe that my edit was better, and I believe that Lionsgate had agreed to shoot this scene that would have made all the difference in the world. And I got fucking mad at Mark and Oren. I was fucking pissed when they said we don't need this scene. And what did we get called out on Spiral? The one thing that we were going to fix, which was everyone knew it was Max Minghella. Everyone knew it.
I knew it.
And we had a whole section that was written. Josh had written it. We just didn't film it because we ran out of time. And I said, this scene is critical. No one's going to get it. Darren, you're being ridiculous. And I went around Mark and Oren, and I went directly to Lionsgate. I pitched my case. Lionsgate said, we agree with you. And then I got shut down, and I lost my fucking mind. I went fucking crazy. And I remember getting a phone call from Andrew Wilson. It says, dude, what are you doing? You're pissing off Mark and Oren. And my thing was, at that point, I only cared about Chris Rock, because I had this relationship with Chris Rock. And Chris Rock, I wanted him to look good in this movie. And I knew he was going to look like a fucking idiot if this scene didn't exist. And so my thing is, part of my job is to be an asshole. But the problem with that is I play an asshole so much of the time because I never turn off being a director. Because my job isn't 9 to 5. I don't stop at 5 o'clock. The phone rings all day. It rings all fucking night. If I don't respond to an email in 20 minutes, I get text messages. Why aren't you responding, Darren? So then I find that my mentality is, Laura says something to me and I take the same fucking tactic as I do Mark Borg or Oren or Lee Nelson or David Tisch. I immediately go that way because I feel like a caged animal. And I think that's the hardest thing for me, being in a relationship.
Been home with the kids who have the flu and COVID and, aren't sleeping. And
I can't remember which movie it was. It might have been Good Luck, Chuck. You were gone for like 6 weeks, and I had a 6-month-old and a 3.5-year-old who had just had a tonsillectomy, adenoidectomy, and I was by myself, and we had no help. Josh was gone for 6 weeks and came back with a set. It was a studio movie, so like a real 100 people there who anything he said were snapping into action to do everything. He came home within 45 minutes. Asher, who was 3.5, said something, and you told him he had to go put his toys away first or whatever. And he said, no, I don't want you because I want it. And you looked at him and you looked him in the forehead, and you're like, I'm used to people doing what I say the second I say it. But
Can you just be very clear? I didn't hit him. I flicked him in the forehead.
But it's like worse. But I will say, I do think what you're talking about, first of all, is, and I'm like, I say super lefty, but it's only because this country is so fakakta at this point. But in France, that's where, what's his name? Clint Eastwood goes. And they're a 9 to 6 film set. They're done. I don't love all of his movies, but I don't love all of anybody's movies. And they have a civilized work schedule. You are not expected to answer your phone 24 hours in the day. Yeah. You get paid a salary. You have lunch. You don't have to fight and scrimp for everything. And this country has forced people into something where it's a 12-hour day, and then the people, your crew, your job is to fight for them because everybody's being worked like crazy people. Yeah. It's horrible.
It's like a child. The movie becomes a child that you conceive of it, you shepherd it, you teach it, and then you spend years on set with it. Yeah. And then you get told a stupid note that goes against everything that you're trying to do with that child. I can't take the emotion out of it. To me, it's impossible to lose that emotion out of it. I have a question though for you, and this is something that Laura and I struggle with a lot. I hate hotels. I hate being gone.
Oh my God.
You can already hear it. So I remember I had to go to.
Wait, do you have the smallest violin? I'm so
just shut up. No. This is exactly what this podcast is about. So I went to New Orleans recently.
My shorts are short. Sorry. Oh.
I went to New Orleans recently, and Laura said something to me about, oh, you're flying first class? And I got so angry. I got so mad because I didn't want to fucking go. I didn't want to fucking get on a plane and go to LAX and say, and that is what she yearns for, because we don't take vacations, we don't do whatever. But to me, it's work, and I feel no joy in it. Yeah. To me, the joy is sitting in my man cave, passing wind, having the dogs on either side of me. That's what it is. But there is a resentment. There is a resentment.
Any favor here?
No, but there is a resentment because of this from a Instagram filter, a privileged lifestyle. But it's a job. It's work. Do you guys ever get in those fights?
Yeah, because taking care of kids is also a job and work. And like the thing was, you have a career, and when the career is going well, it can justify everything. It can justify all the times that we don't take vacations or you're away. But then the career sometimes doesn't go well. When the kids are doing really well in school, doing really well in sports, I'm a team mom, I'm a room mom, I'm carting them everywhere, I'm cooking, like they're still alive and thriving. So I've done my job, but you got to like work, and you like, I hear from your writing partner that you're getting junior mints at craft services at 6:30 in the morning.
Oh
like,
my God.
What? You're a grown man eating candy at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm fucking purifying bottles, and like, so yes, there is a resentment. But that said, when Josh is home, he is with the kids. Like he's coaching now they're older, but like coaching their teams. We are spending weekends together. But a lot of that I had to fight for. Not because he doesn't want to be with the kids, but because of that pressure of like, if I'm not trying to create something and get the next job, like of course there's that pressure.
Yeah.
But
we had a big fight about just the other day, but the beach day, because I had to cancel once, that I almost canceled again. And you were just like, you got to make time for the kids and all that.
Because they need to know.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, no, I mean,
I get it. Yeah. No, you're right. You're totally right.
Because, like, then I'll also yell at him for, like, not yell at him. I mean, it's not his fault that we don't have, and I don't think I'm not blaming you that we are having financial problems.
I'm doing a little blame.
But I mean, like, you're working your ass off. It's not your fault at all. But I also feel like, well, if we're all going to die tomorrow anyway, or die in debt or whatever, like, we also need to just, like, make priorities and we have to be with our family.
But do you know what I think? Laura mentioned this the other day, and then I have a question for both of you that I really am curious about.
And then I gotta go because
she talked to me about, Laura said something to me about all of her friends on her Instagram. They're all in Italy or they're in France, and they have these perfect Instagram lives. And I'm sure to a lot of people, we have a perfect Instagram live because we curate the pictures we post. I curate my kids smiling, not when they're cussing and yelling and crying. Yeah. I curate a cute picture of Laura and I, but it took 90 of me not to have 15 chins and see that I was utterly bald. So we curate these images. Most people that I think would meet us or hear us would think that we are successful, wildly successful. The people that don't think we're successful are family. And I think it's to me, I'm really struggling as I've gotten older. It is her family and it's my family that I look like a failure to them. And I take on that mentality when I'm around them, when I know that we're going to see them, because there is, it's like a pit in my stomach, because what is success where we are in our career right now? And so Josh, first question is to you. What do you define success as a filmmaker right now in your age with 2 kids, a house, a mortgage, a wife? What is success for you?
I mean, right now it's just about getting the next job. I mean, whatever it is, if it's something I'm really excited about. I've made a couple of movies in the last whatever that I was not excited about, but it's making a movie that I'm excited about is my idea of success, and getting paid. That's it.
Well, then we are going to get success out of this. Darren and Josh make a movie, whatever that movie ends up being. But I do have a question for the two of you, and that is, final question. What would you say the piece of advice you would give to a filmmaker that has just gotten married and about to start their life as a married couple, dating a filmmaker or married to a filmmaker?
I don't know. Can someone give us some? Don't lose your identity.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is true, which is, I think, like, right before we were getting married, you wrote a play for me. And my mom came out, you wrote Heartthrobs. We had so much fun doing it. It was like a Valentine to me. But I think we were like, oh God, we're about to get married. Are we going to lose our drive? Or, and like the night before, we were like, listen, we don't need to look at each other and think, you're the last person I'm going to sleep with. Like, we're like, this feels like, oh my God, as we're getting constrained. But then you wrote this play, we did it was so much fun. And yeah, don't lose your sense of identity, but also keep that. We talk about everything. And I talk about everything. And Josh wants to walk away a lot. I talk about everything. Why'd you say it like that? If you wrote this script and when I was putting down the food, the man picked up his foot, like, what does this say about you? Like, I'm analyzing everything, which I know is tedious and annoying, but also we don't have a lot left unsaid. And I think that is also really important because this is incredibly stressful. All of it's stressful. And I'm sorry for you guys that you have your families that are living in a sort of different reality, because I do think that right now most of the country has become LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, most of the country now feels like what we've felt like in Hollywood for years.
Yeah.
And so, but that's an extra burden, and that is incredibly stressful. But I think we talk about everything, or I talk about everything, and I force him to listen, and that helps for me because there's so much out of your control. All you can control is the way you deal with the people around you.
Well, I have a question. I'm just going to spin it around on you guys and then we can be done. Same question. What advice would you give?
Our next guests are here. I can't answer that. What advice would I give to filmmakers starting off?
Who have a family or want a family?
Yeah, I mean, it's
That feels like a landmine. You're going to have to answer.
no. It is making sure that you're checking in constantly with your person, and because I would be lost without Leila. I would be like, bills wouldn't get paid. The boys would never have gotten into college because I would never be able to do homework with them. I lost the ability to help them with their math homework in 3rd grade. Like, but even more than that, because that feels like it's just about her job, and but it's about checking in constantly, and even when you're angry, making time, to be intimate together occasionally.
We've had sex 2 times. Ever.
No, I just want you to answer the question.
Okay, I will. I think that I started this off by what is success? What does that mean? That as a filmmaker, you have to understand that the success that you have as a director or as a writer is 100% shared with the person you're in a relationship with, because there is no that without them. If I was alone, I wouldn't be able to go to Saudi Arabia or Connecticut to shoot this movie, or Prague. And I would not have the ability to have a fan base and put the perception of a successful career out there with these cool pictures all over the world.
Yeah.
That is because I have someone there that is not getting the credit and not getting the accolades when there is a movie premiere or when there is a billboard. And I think that that's very important, because I do forget that at times.
Yeah.
Because I'm in my own tornado of hell, that I forget there's someone else in their own tornado of hell that doesn't get the accolades. At least when I survive my tornado, there will be accolades on the other side. When Laura survives the tornado, there are no accolades on the other side.
I mean, like, one of the worst things is, like, you'll be on a red carpet and you're with Leila, and
That's the worst. No.
no. And they'll be like, lady, will you move away so we can get a clean shot of the...
Do you want to know something?
Yes.
There was a convention
Oh, God
that
damn
Darren
it.
was doing.
Yeah.
Lies!
No, it was that guy.
John Rabin.
John Rabin. And he was sort of like Darren's like handler, manager for this convention or whatever. And so Darren and I are walking. It's pretty new in our relationship. And Darren and I are walking. And he goes, you know what? Can you walk like 6 feet behind him? Because like he needs to present that he's available, even if you guys are together. And I was like,
I would have...
go fuck yourself.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
What I
I think
Wait,
back
so
then
what happened?
I think back then I walked 6 feet behind. Now I would be walking like 6 feet ahead.
To end this, I would like to invite both of you back a few more times throughout the process of this as we continue on and do check-ins. I have a feeling that it's going to get dramatic again as we go down this road. So let's invite them back and do check-ins.
We love it. You guys are great. I think you're great. And, you cannot put your success on what other people say. When I got pregnant, there were so many people who were like, "Oh, you're giving up your acting career," and it was the first time I actually felt powerful because I was doing what I wanted to do. Because everything else isn't up to us, right? So we made that choice, and like that felt powerful. And I think what you guys are doing, deciding to do this together, and there's integrity and power in that. Even though I know we all need money and that's like a necessity, but I think it's such an awesome thing that you guys are doing together. I think it's awesome.
Well, thank you both for coming on. And Laura, hopefully tonight I don't have to sleep in the guest house.
You just cleaned it, so go ahead.
We don't have a guest house.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, this is Josh of Darren and Josh Make a Movie. Thank you for watching that slightly uncomfortable episode with Darren and Leila and Laura. I just want to throw out 2 podcasts that I think everybody should be listening to if you're an emerging filmmaker. The first one is called Film Spotting. It's a wonderful show that reviews films. It really is my favorite podcast that I listen to. It's hosted by Adam Kempenaar and Josh Larson, and they have a wonderful way of breaking down films and looking at them in a very realistic way. I am very, very concerned that they might review one of my films because I don't imagine that they will review it positively, but I do think it's a great show to watch if you're interested in podcasts. The second show is Script Notes. It's a show that is hosted by John August and Craig Mazin. They are 2 screenwriters in Hollywood. I've been listening to this show for close to 10 years. And if you are a screenwriter and looking for inspiration in writing and ideas about how to write, I would recommend them as a show. But the other reason I'm recommending both of these shows is that the producers of those shows, for Film Spotting, it is Sam Van Hallgren, and for Script Notes, it is Drew Marquardt. And they are wonderful producers of their shows. Addison Marshall produces our show, but I reached out to both of those producers for both Film Spotting and for Script Notes, and they gave me some wonderful ideas about how to do our show. So as a thank you to Film Spotting and Script Notes and their producers, I wanted to recommend them for you to listen to. I think they will help you in your journey of filmmaking. So thank you for listening to Darren and Josh Make a Movie, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
That's a wrap on today's episode. Please give the show a follow, and if you could leave a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, each post helps us reach more listeners like you. Another way to support us is to join the crew at djmakeamovie.com. We'd love to hear from you. Follow and join the conversation at DJ Make a Movie on all social platforms. Let's make a movie together.
Darren and Josh Make a Movie, Season 1. Hosted by Darren Bousman and Josh Stolberg. Produced by Addison Marshall. Email the team at djmakeamovie@gmail.com. To watch on video and enjoy all the visuals you may have missed listening to the audio version of the show, subscribe to the Darren and Josh Make a Movie YouTube channel. Thank you for joining.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.
No, it's not creepy at all.
I run a house with 50 crazy bitches. Taught them to survive.
This is real blood!
You're hallucinating.
It is real.
This is okay.
That girl really needs to learn to keep her mouth shut.
A man with a shudder.
That is disgusting.
Is that a fucking piranha?
They took my penis! They took my penis! Oh, I wish I hadn't seen that.
You haven't seen anything yet.
You want to play games, motherfucker?
Citrate comes in a little glass vial. Hallelujah!
Darren and Josh Make a Movie.
Cut, Casper. That's a wrap.